He is essentially the Dick Clark of his generation. He's Michael Strahan. What's up, Stray? You are. Come on now.
No, I don't know. There are others, believe me. There's only one Dick Clark, first of all. I'm a working stiff, man, but I appreciate that.
Oh, you are. I mean, you're even giving away cash and prizes like Dick Clark on a $100,000 pyramid, Straight. That's you're doing that.
Covering all bases, man. Who would have thought, Rich, back in those days when you and I was scrambling, delivering mail to those mail rooms? Here we are.
Well, I'll tell you what. It is interesting to see you part of the paparazzi, Stray, because as well, with Fox and GMA, because there's some times where you didn't want people around your locker. I remember those days, Michael.
Yeah, I wasn't too fond of that. There were days when you just I didn't feel it was necessary. But when you're playing, it's one mindset, and when you're not playing, it's another mindset.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't have that switch, then you cannot live out in the real world. I think the problem is when you think that as a football player, that's really who you are, and when you take it off the field at home with you, that's when you start having problems.
Let's hit the NFL gridiron. Who's the best team through 10 weeks, do you think, Michael? That's Dallas Cowboys. Yeah.
As much as it pains me to say it, the Dallas Cowboys are the best team right now, and Patriots were up there last night, ran into a little buzzsaw to Seattle. But, Cowboys are looking great with the young line and the young back and the young quarterback who is accurate and surprising everybody.
What do you think's going through Romo's mind right now, Michael?
Where am I going to be next year? I hate to see that because Tony's a great player, but he just never kind of got them over the hump. And I think that everybody's waiting for Dak to come in and be hot and then kind of fall off. But the kid, he's not shaken by any means. And when you're watching him play, just the confidence that you have in him. And there are very few quarterbacks, when they drop back, you have that complete confidence that they're going to make something happen. And he is one of those guys.
Michael Strahan, Hall of Famer, joining me here on the Rich Eisen Show. Who was the best rookie you ever played with? Where you're like, okay, this guy's changing. He's going to change our outfit here. He's a big boost. Who's that guy?
Who I've ever played with? That's really.
I stopped you.
Tough. I don't know.
I stopped you right in
that's
your tracks.
Really tough one. I mean, we had some really good rookies, though. I mean, we won the Super Bowl with three, rookies that really helped us. With Kevin Boss and Steve Smith and some guys like that. Playing with Jesse Armstead when we were both rookies was pretty amazing because Jesse was able to come in and immediately make an impact. Seahorn was the best athlete I've ever played with.
No kidding.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Jason Seahorn was the best athlete I've ever. He made everything look easy. We called him Sea Breeze. And Tyrone Wheatley, the running back at the University of Michigan,
sure.
He was one hell of an athlete as well.
Well, I mean, we have fun with Michael Irvin on our morning show on the NFL Network, Straight, because his numbers against Seahorn were not very good. We always say that he was caught on Seahorn Island. He does not like that at all.
You tell me Michael Seahorn locked him down?
He did. It's true. These are all truths.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, we always have to. I did not know that. I mean, Michael's one of my favorite people and was always one of my favorite players. And I'll never forget before I got drafted, the Cowboys fly all their top picks, all their prospective top picks to Dallas, and I was one of those guys. And I walked into the weight room. There's Michael Irvin doing step ups with dumbbells in his hands, and he's talking to all his young players, saying, "Yay, you got to stay in here in order to get everything out there in the world." And he was right. You got to work for it. And I've always respected that about Michael, that to watch his work ethic and the way it paid off for him on the field, that he's been nothing but an honorable guy to be off the field. But regardless of Seahorn locking him down, I still love Michael Irvin.
Mm-hmm. What do you think about the Giants tonight with a 5-3 record? I've been having my fun with Ben McAdoo that with that play sheet that looks like a sandwich board. But what do you think about the G-Men 2016 with Eli now, the graybeard, Stray?
I thought you were going to talk about McAdoo's mustache or hair.
Well, we all talk. It does look like he's in disguise. There's no question about that, yeah. Michael.
But I think the confusing thing this year is last year they had such a powerful offense. I felt like a much more potent offense with less weapons. In a lot of ways, you didn't have Victor Cruz, you didn't have Shepard. The running game is probably a little better than what they're getting right now from last year. Offensive line, they have some injuries they got to deal with, but I still think they have so much more they can get out of their offense, production-wise, big play-wise. Beckham's going to do what he does. I mean, the guy's one of the best young players I've ever seen. And I think defensively this year they're getting the system a little bit more. But the last few weeks have relied a lot more on pressure to get the blitzes to get pressure on the quarterback. I don't necessarily like that a lot, especially with some of the injuries they've had in the backfield. But I love Collins. I watched the young guy. He works really hard. He plays really well. He's very consistent. I think they got a good shot tonight against the Bengals. The biggest thing is the Bengals are running the ball a lot better. You got to stop A.J. Green. I mean, that's the biggest thing. And in order to do those things, you have to pressure your quarterback. And that's going to be their challenge. And defensively, fortunately for the Giants, the Bengals haven't gotten a ton of sacks this year like they had last year. But that doesn't mean they can't turn it around in this game. So it's going to be a challenge because the Bengals should be a playoff team. I doubt they will this year, but they should be. But tonight, I'm sure they'll play like it in front of a Monday night audience.
Pro Football Hall of Famer Michael Strahan. I have a few more minutes with him here on the Rich Eisen Show. What's your typical day like, Stray? I mean, you wake up, crack of dawn, get going, hang out with Robin Roberts, George, and the crew.
Yeah,
essentially.
I get to sleep in maybe one day a week. Other than that, I'm up by like 5 o'clock or so every day. And but it's phenomenal. You know, it reminds what I do now is so far removed from football, but it reminds me of football in the sense that I didn't grow up doing it. So every day I'm learning about it. It keeps me interested in it. And to sit there next to Robin and George and Amy and Lara and everybody at the studio and to learn every day is just the most amazing thing. It's so far removed from anything I thought I would be doing. And in a lot of ways what I thought I could do, because you kind of limit yourself to being an athlete sometimes. So I'm glad I got out of my own head to say I can do more than just sack quarterbacks or tackle running backs and kind of show everybody that that's possible. And hopefully now future generations say, hey, okay, I did sports for one period of my life. Now it's on to the next thing. I don't have to be pigeonholed or get stuck in my life on one profession. I can do as many as I want. Nobody says you have to stop after one or two things.
And now you're just executive producing a bunch of shows. And again, it's with you and Brady and Gotham Chopra, 3 executive producers for Religion of Sports that debuts tomorrow night on Audience. What are you proud of about this show, Stray?
I mean, the show is compelling because it explores. You know, we all see the stories. Oh, this is a great athlete, and this is what they did in their life, and this is a great thing. This is more about the athlete, the sport, the fan, and when this experience of the sport goes beyond just being a game, where it affects you in some kind of spiritual way, and we see it all around the world in sports like, for instance, in here in New York City, MMA. This past weekend, from MMA, we covered that, to NASCAR, to soccer in Ireland, where there's always some underlying story behind it from a fan's perspective of why it means so much to them. Maybe it helps them mask or deal with some of the loss that they've had in their life. Maybe it's something, some deeper tie. You know, Joey Jones, our soldier, who was in our NASCAR piece, it helped him deal with his being a bomb tech and overseas and losing both of his legs, and to come back and have to deal with that. So it's like everything that embodies what sports is supposed to be, a transcending experience that takes you beyond just watching it and going root for your team. It's a little bit deeper into your soul than that.
And then, you know, on NFL Network, you're executive producing Tackle My Ride as well. What is your ride, Stray? What are you driving?
I have a lot of rides, and I'm a car guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why I work so hard now, because I like buying cars. So I have quite a few rides,
mm-hmm.
but my everyday ride is Escalade, so I can get around the city. But other than that, I have sports cars and trucks and all kinds.
So
of
you're
stuff.
saying you still drive yourself? That's what you're saying, essentially.
I
right?
still, I have a driver in the city.
Okay.
But
just want to make sure.
Of that, I love to drive myself. Though, when I'm out of even after when I can park on the street,
mm-hmm.
then I'll drive myself. The hardest thing here is parking. So if I can park on the street, I drive myself.
Mm-hmm.
When I do anything else, I drive myself.
Mm-hmm.
And Tackle My Ride is cool because it's all these fans who are really into their teams, but more so than being into their teams, they're really into their community, and they do great things and they give back. and they help kids and they do things for charity. And this is a chance for us to show them some appreciation. And not only do they get this sweet ride, but they usually get a nice little surprise with it, which everybody can see tomorrow night.
Yeah, that's on NFL Network tomorrow night. We had Lamar Woodley here last week to talk about it, and I see you're executive producing with Brady. So you're doing the smart thing, which is hook up with Michigan guys, Stray.
Oh, my goodness.
Very good. Good job. You're very smart.
Well, Brady, I figured I always wanted to play with the guys, and we never could be teammates because I retired. This is the closest we can get to it, so I jumped on it.
Excellent. Stray, look, man, I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'm so proud of what you are doing and what you have become. I mean, it's a lot of work, too. People don't know. I mean, and so many people who do what you did for a living just want to tap out and tee it up and just play golf and figure out maybe somebody could come their way with an idea and they'll make something of it. But you're getting after it, and I couldn't be happier, Stray.
I appreciate you, man. We go way back.
We do.
Brother, and I always appreciate you having me on, and maybe one day when I'm sitting in California, if I can ever sit still when I get there, I can get a chance to see your pretty face in the studio.
Do it, Stray. And plus, I know when you're in town. We know the same people, okay? So no excuses. I know exactly when you're in town, Michael.
Oh, boy. I better watch what I'm doing. All right.
Take care of yourself.
All right. You too, man. Thanks.
That's the man. That's Stray right there.
The Rich Eisen Show, weekdays at noon Eastern on Audience.